Wouldn't you like a shorter work week, like maybe, I don't know, 4 days? Sounds like a good thing, right? But trying to cram all your work into just 4 days may actually wreak havoc on your health. So to explain that, we turn to Ohio State professor Allard Dembe, who's done a lot of studies on this very topic. So when I read about this, Professor, I gotta say, I wasn't necessarily buying it. It seems like fewer days at work would actually be good for you, but having a 3-day weekend could actually be bad?
A 3-day weekend sounds like a really fine idea to me, and I could see how many people would appreciate having that time on the weekends. I certainly would appreciate having that time. The question is, how do you get the work done, and in what period of time do you get the work done that needs to get accomplished? Especially given the fact that some people, normally work 40 hours a week, but other people work 45, 50 hours a week. So how is it possible to compress all the work that needs to be done into 4 days without having a price to pay?
So the studies sort of looked at longer days. We're not talking about 8-hour days. We're talking about maybe 4 10-hour days. So you actually are still putting in full-time hours just over a shorter period of time.
The studies we did suggest that, so let's start with a standard 40-hour week. So in a standard 40-hour week, you can work 5 days a week and 8 hours a day, and it all works out to be 40 hours. If you're trying to work in a compressed schedule where you have, let's say, 40 hours a week over 4 days, then on average, you'll be working 10 hours shifts. And the research I've done indicates that if it gets a bit higher, up to about 48 hours a week, and you try to compress that into 4 days, that's when our studies have shown that you can potentially get some health effects in the way of fatigue and possibly even effects in diseases.
So what sort of diseases are we talking about? I mean, what are the long-term health implications?
Yeah, I mean, we've looked a lot at the effect of chronic diseases. Of course, we started this research with just industrial accidents. Many years ago, we showed that if a person works more than about 12 hours in a day on average over, let's say, a 5-day period, that can definitely raise the risk of industrial injuries, and that's been shown pretty definitively. And newer studies that we've done show that the same kind of effects might even occur with chronic diseases over a period of time, such as asthma and heart disease and cancer and others. So, if a person's working 4 days a week at 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day, I'm not too worried. But when in order to compress the schedule so that you can have that 3-day weekend, if you try to compress the schedule into 4 days and work longer hours overall, because you still have to get the work done. Let's say now you're working 48 hours a week, 50 hours a week over 4 days, then those are long days, stressful days, fatiguing days, and possibly could be related with various kinds of injuries and illnesses, as well as potentially chronic disease down the road.
And so having that extra day off, that extra day in the weekend, doesn't help to compensate?
That's a good question. In other words, does the 3-day period at the end of the week and the rest that may occur during that 3 days, can that compensate? It might be an issue of what you're doing during those 3 days. If you're just, still trying to look at your emails, every so often, as I do, or you're trying to fit in other sort of demanding activities during those supposedly open days on the weekends, then maybe you're kidding yourself, and maybe it's still, pretty stressful to try to pull that off.
All right, I hear what you're saying, Professor, but if you're doing any more studies, I wouldn't mind participating in a little 4-day work week study. I'll email you. Maybe you can write a note to my bosses or something. Professor Allard Dembe, thank you so much.